Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Financial Investor channel. My name is Brent, and today we're going to be taking a look and doing our weekly recap for April 23rd through the 27th. We had a lot going on this week: Treasury notes, a bunch of stock earnings, so we're going to try and cover it a good chunk of it. So, very first thing, I want to start off by covering the three indexes. Going into the Treasury notes, 10-year was at a 3%, 2-year was at a 2.5%. We had a lot of stocks earnings. I'm going to be talking about Hasbro, Verizon, Caterpillar, Amazon, a couple others, and then ending it with gold, silver, going over a few articles we posted over on Facebook, and then ending it over on Merrill Edge, the research, kind of taking a look at what else we missed this week. So let's go ahead and get started. If you are brand new to my channel, go ahead, hit the subscribe button for future financial videos. I make all sorts of fun little stuff. So S&P 500 only down 0.01%. Not a whole lot going on this week, despite a whole bunch of earnings. I think it was like 70-80% of the companies within the S&P 500 reported earnings this week. I was trying to keep on top of it as much as I could, but there's just so much going on out there. A few of them that I'm going to go ahead and discuss. Those were the ones I was kind of tracking this week. Dow Jones down for the week by 0.62%. I know that Dow Jones has 30 stocks in there, many of which didn't do so hot this week. Some of them, for example, were, I think, let's see here, Triple M went down, Apple went down, I think like 2 or 4%. Boeing did pretty positive. Caterpillar went down. Coca-Cola went down. Exxon went down. Goldman Sachs went down. So yeah, overall, there was some up, there was some down, mostly down, ended in the negative. And the NASDAQ up. Okay. I thought they would have ended up positive. So 5-day change for the NASDAQ down by 0.37%. Still positive for the year by 3.13%. So it's moving. Now, this is what I wanted to show you guys here. This shows you that the 10-year Treasury yield falls. Monday, it broke the 3% yield. Tuesday, it broke the 3% yield again, either Tuesday or Wednesday, and then continued to kind of hang there. So I think that's what's kind of spooked a lot of the long-term investors. If you can buy a bank note that gives you a 3% yield, that's a pretty safe investment. So here we have the 3-month notes at 1.8, which is still very good. The high yield savings account that I have is, it's month to month. I get about $50 back and interest from that, but this is a 1.8% yield here. 1-year Treasury at 2.2, 2-year note 2.4, 5-year note 2.8, 10-year at nearly 3%, and that 30-year is at 3.1. So some of the best ones are the 2-year note at 2.5% and the 10-year note at 3%. So they did actually break that 2.5 and 3% bracket there. So those are some interesting things. I'll go ahead and have this article here linked in the description below, and you guys can go ahead and check that out. Now, some of the stocks I was tracking for Monday, Merck shot up by 2.4%. They were one of the leaders of the Dow 30. They did very well. They were upgraded by Goldman Sachs. It was all due to this cancer medicine called Keytruda. It basically interferes with the growth and spreading of the cancer cells within the body, and they believe going forward over the next 5-10 years, it's gonna add a very nice amount of profit for this specific, for the company. So that's why they increase it there. And up 5-day change 1.09%. Year to date up 5.69%. So this is beating out all the indexes right here alone. Plus you get a very nice yield with it. Hasbro, they released earnings. Let's see, I think they didn't beat their earnings, but investors did buy the dip. So let's see here. I'm not sure. Hasbro, I don't know if it was Hasbro or what's the other, Mattel. I think one of them I talked a little bit about Toys R Us being a good chunk. So Toys R Us liquidation kills Hasbro sales. So yeah, it was either Hasbro or Mattel, or Toys R Us makes up about 13% of their revenue. And I for sure thought that Hasbro or Mattel would have tanked because of their, the loss of Toys R Us. But investors bought that dip on Monday. You can see here it started off down in the $80 range and over the week at 5.49%, ending at nearly $88. They did break highs for the year and then kind of ended at $85.81. So very good there. On Tuesday, we had Verizon. They reported very good earnings, better than expected. So they jumped up 2% on earnings, continued up for the day. This stock, at one point it was $40 back in July when I had bought this one. Great long-term buy and hold. They had a dividend yield of around 4 to 5.5% for quite a while. I know a lot of investors on the dividend chat were talking about this one. So yeah, the company reported very strong earnings and revenue came in much better than what analysts had expected, which is what we want right now during this whole time. We want these companies to be reporting record-breaking earnings, and this allowed the stock to break out of its 2-month range and actually closed above its 200-day moving average. So very good for the long term, down for the year by 2.57%. So could be a good, could be a great, could still be a good buy. Up next is Caterpillar. So this one actually closed down 6% on Tuesday. So Caterpillar had been on the rise very hard, going into this year. If we go back 3 months, okay, I thought Caterpillar had done actually much better than it had. So yeah, back in February it did dip, came back up, dipped again. Okay, I haven't been tracking this one for quite a while. Oh, it was Boeing. Boeing was the one that had done very well. But Caterpillar itself up for the year, over the 1 year, very positive still, but kind of losing steam a little bit, which is, expected, I believe. So they did close down 6% on Tuesday despite having good earnings. So they did raise the full year profit forecast, so that's something to look at for this company. This could be a good potential buy. Up next, on Tuesday after hours, Google released their earnings. They actually beat everything, but the shares were lower by 5% because the company did report earnings showed an increase in cost despite strong ad sales. So, similar to Facebook, Google is an ad-driven company. When they asked Facebook, "How do you make your money?" Well, it's all ads. And right now, Google's ads aren't having that strong of sales. So the stock did close a little bit below the 200-day moving average. And as you know, Google gets a lot of their ad revenue from YouTube. So they've changed a lot of their policies on there. And I think I just got something in the mail that I have to approve for Google because they're changing their policies with the whole way Facebook and Google share your information. So that could hurt their ad revenue. Up next is Texas Instruments. So Texas Instruments, they released earnings on Tuesday after hours. Wednesday shot up by 4.65%. So this is basically another semiconductor stock that reported above expectations. Stock did very well, and moving forward, they're going to continue to move positive for the year, I believe. Up for the 5-day change, up 2.55%. Up for the year, or down for the year by 1.85%. So it could still be a good buy and hold strategy here. I know Texas Instruments pays a nice dividend of around 2 to 3%, depending on when you purchase it. Visa. We talked about American Express last week reporting. They reported numbers that a lot of their users of the credit card, when they swipe, when they're using their cashback feature, like I have a cashback feature on my card of 2.5%. I love that feature. I pay my credit card off days in advance. I always pay it off month to month. I load my credit card with everything I can put on there. If I can put a bill on there, I'll put my bill on there and I'll pay it off at the end of the month. So Visa reported that they're making a good chunk of their money by people paying interest on these credit cards. So people get stuck on these credit cards, they get an 18% interest rate, and they're paying, that's what's allowing Visa to do so well. So Let's see here. Double-digit growth in payment volume was one of the factors that helped the company itself beat the street's expectations. They had a showed growth. They had 25% growth in bringing in 1.3 billion. So company did very good there. So Visa, I know a lot of investors out there hold this one. I'm not 100% sure if Visa pays a dividend. If they do, it'd be very, very small. Facebook released earnings. They crushed it. Anybody who bought Facebook within just the last month absolutely crushed it. So up for the 3 months here, over 3 month wise, it is still down. But earlier this month, when Mark had gone to the Senate and had spoke about Facebook, and this stock had tanked by what, 10, 12%. So 1 month change up 13.43%, still down year to date by 1.63%. But Facebook, they released great numbers. Their stock soared by over 9% with really great earnings release. And the company beat revenue, they beat earnings expectations. They showed that the daily active users did not go down despite the whole security issues with the Cambridge data leak. And shares have recovered by more than 65% of their losses, and they're going to be going up even further, I believe. So, Facebook, it's a great thing. It's a great, great company. Very profitable. Intel, 5-day change up 2.33%. Year to date, Intel is up 14.23%. This is one of the better ones, I believe, of the Dow. Intel and Boeing, I think, are some of the top tier ones in the Dow right now. But again, Intel, their shares rose up huge on Thursday. Good earnings. I'm not sure how close they are of highs, but I know there was a little bit of chit chat on that. So Intel's strong Q1 results to power semiconductor ETFs. So they held up a lot of the losses that took place within the Dow. And let's see here. What do I have in my notes? So investors responded to their earnings beating with a 17-year highs. The company did see growth of 32% and then an increase in sales. So overall, very good. If you're going to get a chip for your computer, it's probably going to be an Intel. I know we have Intel and everything. I have an AMD in my computer, but I have a Ryzen. But still, I would prefer an Intel. I think I have an i7 in my other computer. So Amazon, they released earnings going into the after hours of Thursday, I believe. So Thursday up 3.96%. Friday up an additional 3.51%, ending for the 5-day change at 2.95%. If you had bought this opening day on Wednesday, you would have made a very nice gain. I know my buddy at work, he owns Amazon, was buying this dip. I was patting him on the back, buy that dip, because Amazon, when they release earnings, they're going to blow it out of the water, and they did, up for the year by 34.47%. So amazing right there. I believe they hit all-time highs. So that's something that they had reported, that Amazon actually broke through all-time highs. So if we take a look at the 5-year chart, yep, look at that 5-year chart. They broke the all-time highs there. So great job, Amazon. I posted an article over on Facebook how Jeff, let's see, let's just go over the Facebook. I know I posted over here towards the top. It was something here I posted over on Friday. So yeah, Jeff Bezos made over $10 billion just off the last 2 days of the stock market, and stock market just blowing up. So good for him. I think that's great that he's out there able to turn that business into money. So we already covered Amazon, and last one is Microsoft. So Microsoft, again, shot up on Thursday and Friday, ending 5-day change up 0.86%. Year to date, 12.02%. The company did see earnings higher by 35% compared to a year ago. So overall, they're expecting the cloud and all those sort of subscription-based products to continue to help Microsoft out. And great looking there. I didn't track too much information on Microsoft. I know I used to hold this one quite a bit, back in the past. So ending with gold, gold is down. I have to refresh this page here. Gold is down 5-day change, down by 0.89%. So over year to date, up by 1.5%. Gold has been kind of fluctuating back and forth over this year. So here you can see January up, February down a little bit, back up. So if you buy at these bottoming out points at like 125, I think this is a good buying point. I know some investors, they like to hold gold, so this could be an opportunity to buy it around 125, sell it at 128, buy it at 125, sell it at 128. So that's an interesting one to kind of check out. And silver has been kind of moving on a positive note here. 1 day or 1 month change up 1.37%. If we go look at year to date, it is slightly down at 2.63%, but not as able to be swing traded as gold. Now I want to end this all. Whoops, let's go back here. I want to end this with not Facebook. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the video just very. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't get logged out of my Merrill Edge. So everything that was posted over on Facebook, I bought some Apple this week. I triggered at 165.50 on Monday, and then I triggered again at 162.50 on either Tuesday or Thursday as Apple fell by more than 2% this week. We already covered Apple. Alphabet released their earnings. Ford, they released earnings. Their stock rose up by 6% this week. If I go back over here, type in F for Ford, they're up 6.19%. I know a lot of investors that are invested over on Robinhood. I buy Ford just because it's cheap. A lot of the times I don't have, you have to buy complete shares over on Ford. We were talking about this over on the comment section of my YouTube channel I just put out on Friday, that a lot of times if you're sitting with $15 or less in your Robinhood portfolio, you're gonna pick up AMD or Ford just because it's inexpensive and it's one of those stocks that you can just kind of buy and hold. So I do own Ford within my Robinhood portfolio. I set up my desk inside my new office, so I do have that all kind of set up. I flip-flop my room around the house, and that's my little setup there. I got my bamboo desk. It's a standing desk. Got my computer and my dual monitors with my UPS. And let's see here. We talked about those companies already released their earnings. The Dow tanked, Caterpillar dove them down, but Intel kind of kept them up, floating a little bit. Wednesday, all the earnings that were going on. Chipotle, oh, that's one I didn't cover. But they're up, 20-some% this week. Up huge this week. I think it was 25. 28.74%. They released earnings, blew it out of the water. This is one people were shorting and completely destroyed expectations. Imagine if you had bought this one back when it completely bottomed out at here down at this point. Dang, it's such an expensive stock. I did not know it was that expensive. Interesting there. Oh yeah, they suspended that. It was like a computer glitch or something. I think that's what I was reading about it. Yeah, technical issue with computer trading, so they stopped doing that. And then of course, Jeff Bezos made over $10 billion just about off the last 2 days just due to the earnings coming out. So completely dominated it there. And then ending the week over here at the research tab, not a whole lot kind of going on. I like to take a look here at this market update, the weekly wrap that they kind of have going on. So they talk about the S&P 500. They should talk a little bit about the Treasury notes yet, rising Treasury yields. So we've already covered that right over here. You can see all the Treasury notes right there, the symbol for them, and what they're currently yielding at, and what their change was for the day. There was a whole bunch, I think like 70-80% of the S&P 500 reported earnings. Majority of them came back with better than expected, so that's great. Gonna keep that market floating ahead, floating, moving straight ahead. And we had a lot of the same news here, so not too much new news that I hadn't already covered. We do have that whole meeting with President Trump and North Korea, South Korea. Those, that whole thing kind of came on Friday or Thursday night. Friday, North Korea crossed over into South Korea. South Korea crossed over into North Korea. That's the whole thing they're talking about, the whole peace and ending that Korean War. A little bit about so they're trying to get rid of all the weapons, all the nuclear stuff over there, kind of going on. If you guys have been kind of tracking that, thought that was really interesting. Yeah, I've never been worried about North Korea. There's tiny. Whoops. But that is it for this week. Just wanted to cover those information. So we covered the three indexes. We covered the yield notes. We covered a variety of stocks that released earnings this week. We covered gold, silver, talked a little about your ability to kind of swing trade gold if you'd like, and then kind of ending it over on Merrill Edge. But a lot of it we already knew. So the winner this week is Chipotle, up at 29.41%. Look at that year to date, up 47.86. Did any of you guys out there expect Chipotle to just blow it out of the water and be up nearly 50% this year? That's more than what Amazon, that's more than anything out there right now that I've even tracked. So that's amazing. So that's it for this week. If you did enjoy the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for future financial videos. If you have any questions or want to say hello, please leave a comment below. I always respond back to you guys' comments. I enjoy the commentary. I enjoy replying and talking to you guys. So if you have any comments about anything at all, go ahead and leave it below. As a friendly disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor or tax professional. The information provided in my video is my opinion for entertainment and fun. This is not investment advice. This is just me as a financial investor myself, trying to help others make their money work for them, talking a little bit about the news that came out this week, and that's about it. So thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. See you later.